seropositive for 6 years, Zoe starts each day with the same ritual. A white pill taken daily to prevent the replication of HIV.
It's called the antiretroviral medications. It allows me to live a very long and fulfilling life. It allows my immune system to be better so that I won't be infected with any opportunistic infections like that.
At 23, the young transgender woman decided to get tested for the first time.
I still keep the confirmatory results of my diagnosis. When I got the result, I was stunned. Even if I knew it at the back of my mind, the actuality of it happening, of me seeing those two lines, it really, I think something broke inside of me at that point.
Zoe had to adapt to this new reality and confront the prejudice that comes with HIV.
There was a time where I did disclose it to someone I was dating at the time, and they ended the date right there and then. And so I got really traumatized, and I did not date for a very long time because I thought that it would be a red flag. There's still definitely a stigma surrounding the virus, especially around the queer community. And I fear that that's still the reason why a lot of people can't disclose their status.
Since 2022, she has been working full-time at a clinic dedicated to sexual health, providing services in prevention, screening, and medical follow-up. In recent years, the clinic has been in high demand. 5 years ago, the director cared for 500 HIV-positive patients. Today, that number has grown to 2,200.
In an average, we actually capture in 1 month at least 15 to 20 pill HIV, people living with HIV in a month. It's about 5% of the all tested.
In just 12 years, the number of people living with HIV in the archipelago has increased by 4. Nearly 210,000 Filipinos are now HIV positive, with an alarming average of 55 new infections every day. Last year, half of the new cases were among those aged 15 to 24, highlighting a silent epidemic that primarily affects young people like Wayne. In 2015, the young man moved to Manila. At 21, he joined a gay dating app, a turning point in his life. It helped him connect and meet multiple partners easily.
I started exploring more about the sexual aspect of my life until I felt like I was already being abusive in terms of the use of the dating apps. The people I encountered did not really care about protection, including me.
Growing up in a small provincial town, the young man had never even heard of HIV before.
Even to this day, a lot of places, a lot of provinces in the Philippines have no access to the resources, even with the existence of the internet.
In the Philippines, sex education in schools, including public ones, faces significant opposition from the Catholic Church, which is followed by 90% of the population. The Church promotes abstinence and fidelity over condom use, shaping public discourse on sexual health. To address this, the government allocated new funding and passed a law in 2018. The law allows HIV-positive people to access health insurance and grants people aged 15 and above the right to undergo screening without parental consent. The law also emphasizes the importance of education despite ongoing resistance.
Most of the oppositors in the education sector, especially from the DepEd, are the parents and the teachers. So with the new law, there's a specific section that instructs the Department of Education to give orientation to the teachers guidance counselors, and parents. But the local government units in the Philippines have their own independence, sort of independence. How are they going to implement it? That would depend on the local chief executive.
In the Philippines, 90% of HIV positive people are gay men or transgender women who face stigma, especially within families.
Hawakan yung buhok mo, then andito yung kutsilyo nakatutok sa'yo na parang papatayin ka niya because of your gender. Pinapasok nila yung paniniwala nila sa Diyos, which is yung religion nila.
Rejected by their families, these transgender women have found solace in this small apartment where they are listened to and accepted as they are.
Lahat tayo nanggaling sa mga challenges, pero at the end of the day, 'di ba? Maganda na, nakakatulong ang Diyos na ma-empower kayo.
Vinny is their new guardian angel. 13 years ago, he founded the NGO Love Yourself after losing his partner to AIDS. Since then, the activist's main goal has been to help the LGBT community.
From January to June, we already have 5,000 cases reported. Basically, we contribute almost 70% of the cases in the whole country. It's a good and a bad thing. It's a good thing because more and more people are actually accessing life-saving healthcare services and life-saving medications. Unfortunately, it's just the tip of the iceberg.
Today, Love Yourself is the largest organization in the Philippines dedicated to the fight against HIV. It provides care to over 50,000 patients and has 72 health centers across the country like this one. Beyond offering treatment, the organization strongly focuses on prevention. In 2017, Love Yourself became the first in the country to introduce PrEP, a daily antiretroviral medication that prevents HIV infection.
So many other Western countries have been using PrEP for a long time already. But here in the Philippines, unfortunately, the government cannot do it alone. Some of the social hygiene clinics and reproductive health facilities are still not comfortable using PrEP because they have a notion of it promoting promiscuity. While in our case, we promote sex positivity. When a person is very sexually active and you tell them that, oh, that's wrong, you stop doing that, then they, instead of going to you, they're gonna veer away from you. They're not gonna listen to you anymore.
Avoiding any moral judgment. That's the approach a handful of public figures are also taking. In the suburbs of Manila, the young actors of a local troupe are in their final rehearsal. They are preparing for a stage adaptation of a popular 80s TV series that chronicles the journey of high school friends as they transition into adulthood. Among the characters is a new addition, a young gay man portrayed by Adrian Lingdeag.
It feels great as a queer person to see myself in media, in film, in TV, and on stage, to feel represented. And as an actor, to represent that community is an honor.
The actor shot to fame in 2017 after starring in Rent, the iconic Broadway musical where he portrayed a drag queen living with AIDS. Just months before landing the role, Adrian was himself diagnosed with HIV.
When you visit the hospital to get the meds, the nurses know me because they've seen me on TV, but I felt that shame. I was always wearing a mask, a hat, and I felt like I couldn't share my status with anyone. But that moment when I decided to be true to myself and to answering the question, I felt like I was also able to release that shame and own my truth and just take control of the narrative and at the same time be able to help others. That's a bonus.
Off stage and away from the cameras, the 29-year-old actor continues his fight through a different platform, social media. The battle against HIV has moved online with a new generation that's taking the lead. Using humor and comedy, Adrian raises awareness about mental and sexual health, sharing videos like these with his 70,000 Instagram followers.
Undetectable.
Untransmittable.
You is equal to you.
Most of the people who support me are actually teenagers. When organizations, institutions, and government agencies talk about it, it's almost always intimidating for a normal person, a normal audience, especially younger people, to grasp it. And so we want to be as fun and as casual as possible.
When the AIDS epidemic broke out in the 80s, the Philippines mainly focused on sex workers and migrant workers, leaving aside the gay community. In 2022 alone, 1,300 people in the archipelago died from AIDS-related illnesses. For Vinny, the situation is critical. Every week, he organizes screening campaigns in Manila's impoverished neighborhoods. Here, on average, 3 out of 10 people tested are HIV positive.
Well, I think we've reached the crossroads since the early 2010s. And the next 20 years will be crucial because this is the moment that we need to make sure that the epidemic does not transition to the next generation. I started Love Yourself because I lost a partner because of the disease. And as a nurse and a doctor, I felt like I wasn't able to do anything to help my partner. And I told myself that this will never happen to anyone else. And that has become my promise to my fellow Filipinos.
The United Nations aims to end HIV transmission worldwide by 2030, a goal that seems out of reach for the Philippines. Government projections estimate the number of HIV-positive people could reach 400,000 by then.